Welcome to another episode of Morning Coffee Review. Today, what we are going to go through and talk about are the three biggest mistakes that I see every firm make when I am talking to them about Bluebeam. We're going to go through and step through some of these workflows, three of the biggest mistakes that I typically see with firms so that you can come out a little bit more informed. Hopefully, you all have some questions towards the end or some workflows that you feel like are beneficial for other people to learn. We'll use the chat feature as well. If you are watching this on YouTube, feel free to use the comment area. We will go back and comment. Again, MCR is for all of you in the community. As always, this is a time for you to ask any questions you have around Bluebeam and any workflows. Of course, we have a topic. We're going to talk about the three biggest mistakes that I see every firm make, or you can ask any questions outside of the topic and we can drill into those as well. Because again, this is about you, the community. I'll give you a little update. Matt Lynn will join us next week. I have not asked him. He is out on PTO, but I think he can make things work. If not, then I'll go solo again. But just wanted to make you all aware of that. So before we hop on in, let me ask, what questions do we have? Is anyone dealing with a specific workflow? I'll let you use the chat area before I jump in. I know last time someone had asked and we didn't get right to what they needed. So I just want to make sure if you have a question, we can go and talk about that. Anything on the product development side, where Bluebeam is going, or also what is going to be the new max tier. I can't tell you pricing because I don't know the pricing yet. But once I do, of course, you all will know. And then if we know early and we're not allowed to talk about it, we'll find a way to convey some of the information as well. Yeah, we can talk about sets. I know Doug uses sets a lot, but I can go through and talk about the purpose of sets if that's what you're looking for. So when we're going through, I have PDFs open because I have some pre-curated data sets that I was just messing with to talk about some mistakes, but we'll talk about sets. So currently right now, when you're looking at your PDFs, if you have a combined set, so we'll look at this one. You have all of your PDFs in one set, and this is a small PDF set. We'll just go with that because we all know typical PDF sets are a little bit larger than this. I'll also make sure the chat feature is open. So typically when you're going through looking at your PDF sets, you have a combined set, right? Or maybe they maybe sent them out separately. That would be preferred to use the actual sets feature in Bluebeam. The theory of sets is to have a combined PDF set that isn't actually living together on your desktop, right? So typically, or SharePoint, wherever you're using to store PDFs, typically you have your PDFs not combined. They're separated out by discipline. That would be the most convenient. And if they're not, that is okay. You can actually separate out your set by selecting whatever pages you need to extract and just extract those pages. You can extract the custom range, which would be, or selected. I would do selected. And it's not hard to select. So you just open up the thumbnails panel and you go through and use the control button on which PDFs you want to extract. You right click, you can extract pages as I probably wouldn't do separate, but you could individualize them. I don't know how large your PDF set is, but ideally what you're trying to do is combine all of your PDFs into one main PDF set. And we're going to take off the fact that it's a combined set to a set of what Bluebeam is so we don't get confused. So a Bluebeam set is specifically meant to combine PDFs as one PDF, even though they don't live together. It allows for easier navigation. If you've ever opened up a 200-page document set, which I have in Bluebeam, depending on who created it, it takes a long time to render that full set. So as you're scrolling through, you're seeing the page render. because Bluebeam's trying to interpret the vector-enriched data on those PDFs. And the best way to do that is to not combine the PDF set into one singular PDF set. It's actually to use what's called sets. This also works for any revisions. So if there's any revisions, it'll stack them as well. And what you're trying to do is just extract all of the pages as individualized pages so that it looks like they are combined in one PDF set. So I'll show you that workflow. What you're going to go through and do is you're going to go and use the sets panel here. You're going to hit the drop down of the set and you're going to go through and create a brand new set. So all I need to do is hit the plus button. It says Bluebeam's allows, that's fine. Great, thank you. So now what we're going to use is relative path or show paths if you're looking for how you're going to itemize those. But I'll go through and look at my sets here. So I have a pre-curated set in this one, I think. No, this is a whole combined set, but is there a revision in here? No. Okay, so these PDFs do not live together. As you can tell, they're all individualized. And again, you can extract pages as I showed earlier, but I want all of these PDFs to be combined. There is a revision in one of these as well. It'll take the same name and stack them. So once I go through and just select the shift button to grab all of these, all I need to go through and do is hit open. Now, Bluebeam does automatically go through and do it by file name. So if the existing file name is there, then it will show it as the second PDF. So like this one has a diff here, but it's going to go by the same number. So you have file name and page label, and it's going to sort by that. And you can change the way depending on how these all set up. And I guess the next question may be around, well, they weren't named correctly. Don't worry, you can have Bluebeam auto name these features so you're not doing all that manual work. And that can just be by going through and creating those page labels. I typically do bookmarks first, then create my page labels from my bookmarks. If that's something we need to learn, I'll go through and show that. But this is how it's going to sort and itemize your PDFs into a easy digestible set. And you can change this however you need to. And then you have sort by order. So you have alphanumeric. You can stack multi-pages. You have revision filter. So if you do want to do a revision filter or some wildcards, you can set up wildcards for those as well. And then you have a wildcard syntax if you need to go through and do that. And then you have previous revisions. So do you want to cross out, hide, gray out, or cross out, or show? Default is cross out, looks like. And then you have stack. So how do you want those revisions to reflect in this entire set as well? You can decide to highlight or stack them. You can copy markups to newly added revisions. So let's say a old PDF that was the non-revised one, you can easily go through and just add those new revisions. And then if you need to unflatten and flatten and then stamp superseded. I like the stamp superseded. It's pretty convenient. I will monitor the chat as best I can. So let me go over to here. The marks list per the PDF, not the entire set, correct? Oh, yeah, we talked about the sets. That's what we asked, right? What are you seeing about shortcomings? Okay, Doug, thank you for adding in. Yeah, it's only one page, but the batch export, you can create one report. Yep. You can't use a sequential markup across multiple PDFs in a set. Seems like the sequences. Oh, sequences has always been a hard thing. So sequences always has had shortcomings. And for those that didn't know, sequence is a way to itemize visually on a PDF set versus a count. So I'll show you what sequences are, and they restart per PDF. But you can continue them. So I will say that as long as it's a combined PDF set, they will not continue in sets because they're not combined actually. So the back end of that markup is seeing that it's actually on a new PDF. So there's a little bit of a difference there. You can't use, okay, so I already read that. Good morning. Good morning, David. Crazy busy week. Yes, hopefully everyone is having an amazing week, and it is Thanksgiving week. So happy holidays to all of you. How did I forget that? It is turkey week. Although we're not having a turkey here in the household, we are going to have prime rib. Let's see. Do stamp seals need to be done prior to creating sets? Can it be done after? I've never done it after, so I don't know the answer to that one, but we'll figure it out together. Can you just change your start number? You need to run batch sign and seal what first, Doug, if you've experienced it? Okay, so let me go through and create this as Doug is helping in the chat, and I'll read the responses Doug has because he uses sets all the time, more than I do. So let's go through and hit OK. Then use relative paths depending on where you're saving these, and then show paths. Again, you can open, save as, completely up to you. I'm going to hit OK. Now it's going to give you a visual. So this is important. Please review it. This will show you exactly how it's going to itemize these and what discipline they will fall under as well. So sheet type, you have discipline, you have revision numbers, you have sheet numbers, sheet names. I'll hit OK. So it matched some. So it matched the drawing log to the drawing log 1 because we had 2 of those, and then matched some other ones. So I'm going to hit OK. It's just letting me know that it did those, so that's good. Now, what it did is, if you all remember, those PDFs did not live in one PDF set together like they would typically a combined PDF set. So now what you have over here is a full tree of the different PDFs by the categories that you assigned. Well, you didn't assign it because you said auto-assign them by what those were. You have your generals. So you have your general notes here, this drawing log. And then you have, and you could see they're superseded for those 2 different ones. I don't know. Oh, it's because it copied the markup. That's weird. So it placed a superseded markup because of the set and then copied it over to this one. I wouldn't want it over here, but be aware that that's what it did here. And then you have your cover sheet. So essentially what this does is it allows you to navigate through the markups. If you have the tree open, like I'll have the architectural set open, I can scroll through, and once I get past those, it's going to jump me directly to the architectural set, not the structural set, right? Because I have the tree closed. So it's allowing me to navigate typically through a PDF document. You can use the arrows, you can use the thumbnails if you wanted as well. You can go through and click through here's 2 through the sets panel, and I'd probably bring this out in a second screen. But what this allows you to do is navigate through one entire PDF set, even though they don't actually natively live together. This would be a very beneficial feature if you have a large PDF combined document. We won't use sets over there so you guys don't get confused. Combined document that's taking a long time to render because of how much data is built into those PDFs and how they were printed or formatted. We all been there, right? You've opened up the thumbnails, you try clicking through them, and it's just taking forever to render because it's such a large document set. This allows you to navigate through them as individual files, but markup as if they were a single combined PDF. That's the purpose. Let me go back through. Let's see if I can stamp, sign, and seal these in batch. And I don't think I can, because when you go and hit the batch feature, it's the single page. Can I do all? It won't, because if I do custom range, it's not gonna, there's no custom because there's no additional PDF. So the batch, sign, and seal feature does not work because it's to the current tab of what that PDF is. Okay, so what else do we have? Let's see here. I was trying to use in sets about 60 individual PDFs and wanted the number thingies. Oh yeah, so the sequential number is an issue. So we'll go to my tool sets. People like the sequential number counter. It is a visual counting tool. So if I visually count a markup here, I can go through and I can count sequentially, and it's a visual indication of those. as you can see here. And you can always right click and you can go through and resume the sequence. But if I resume the sequence and go to the next page, it is going to be a different sequence item. That was the comment. That was the question. That is intentional because it's a completely new PDF that you're going onto. Okay. Now you can't resume that count. If I go back, I right click and I try to resume it, go back to my next page, right? It's not going to resume. It's going to have two separate items here. Now, what happens though when I don't think I can because they're individual PDFs. I can't combine these sequential numbers. That's not how sets works. Okay. So Bob, we confirmed that. Let's see. Doug saying there are some things that you should do prior to breaking out individual pages, like adding pages. Click the add button. Are you telling me that, Doug? Or just telling folks? Okay. On your batch sign and seal. Oh, okay. Thanks. It's going to want me to save. It's because I made a markup. Oh, you can. It's the open set. There you go, Doug. But they have to be open. So you would just have to have them open. So you'd have to click which ones you want to. No, it's the whole set. Yeah. There you go. So I was wrong 5 seconds ago. Well, it was probably like a minute ago. Yeah, it works with all of them. So there you go. Thanks, Doug. It's great when you have some good power users in here. So you can stamp, sign, and seal the entire set. That was a question that was asked as well. I'm not going to because it's going to overwrite and save and ruin my data set. So what other questions did we have about sets? I'm really bugged about this whole superseded because when you use the copy markups from the other PDF, when you're creating the set and it's getting ready to mark the superseded, it does it first versus after. So to me, that's a bug because it's creating an additional superseded markup. It should combine them, create the set, then mark superseded. But I'm assuming there has to be a specific workflow that it follows in order to mark it as superseded. So yeah. Logan, I don't know the answer to that question because I don't have hyperlinks in here, but I would assume as long as you do hyperlinks and they work to that individual document. So when you extract pages, let's say they sent you a full PDF set and you had hyperlinks enabled, what you could do is you can extract pages with their relative hyperlinks. So as you go through and use the extraction tool, update hyperlinks to the relative path. This would be the only thing that you would need to be worried about because the relative path is how is it going to know where to grab those. As we all know, like XREFs from AutoCAD or linking for Revit using non-relative or relative paths. Perfect. What else? What other burning questions have you had with sets? Close the thumbnails panel and give me some more real estate here. Make this a little bit smaller. Now I'm not done yet because I haven't actually saved the set out. So you can then save the set out. This opens as I forgot the file extension. How did I do that? 1 second here. Let me go through and look at the file extension. It is saved out as set. Cool. I don't have my file extensions open, so we'll save set. BEX file. So you can then open up any of those previous sets is how it's saved. Be aware, sets cannot be saved in Studio projects. I found that out. The extension BEX doesn't work in a Studio project. And again, sets are proprietary to Bluebeam. No other solution has something like sets. So this is specifically to Bluebeam and their workflow for using it. Is there a quick, direct way to save and set a new, without the stapler? So, well, okay, I guess you're talking about combined PDFs. Let's not confuse ourselves. Sets, and we'll just talk about a combined PDF. Is there a way to set, because you said save a set as a new combined PDF. Yeah, you can save that set as, so you can print the set as a publish combined PDF. I guess that's what you're asking. Bob. Bob asks, if you want to then combine them out after to send to somebody, because it was easier for you to navigate this way, you can. Just go to publish and then combine PDF set. So it'll bring them all together. You may want to do a PDF package though, because then you're helping downstream. I mean, maybe you do need a complete one. But if no one's created a PDF package before, this is probably one of the best things Bluebeam has created as well. It's actually a PDF package, and you can create this just by going File, Create as well. But a PDF package is essentially a zip file, and you can add any files you want to it. And in folders, if you want to create a folder struct, by all means, create your folder structure, and then in that folder it'll be your sheets. Cool, perfect. But what this is it acts like a zip file, but it's actually a .pdf extension. I don't think people use this enough. You can create this when you're in Studio Sessions, and you can create this out of Studio Sessions and just by itself. But it's saved as a .pdf extension, but operates like a zip file. Caveat, those people do need to have Bluebeam, because Bluebeam is the only one that can interpret a PDF package. But it's probably one of the best things that I've seen, an easy way to open up those PDFs. I would select latest. Oh, okay. Yeah, Doug was saying when you go and do the combined PDF, you want to select the latest versions. So, little tip there. Yeah, PDF package is probably one of the best, lesser known solutions within Bluebeam, I guess. Options, feature. There you go. One of those. And it definitely is underutilized. I know it's utilized probably, and maybe it's not, to be honest. I would hope that it is utilized more in your sessions. So in Studio Sessions, you do have the option to use the PDF package. So if I go over to the report here, you can create that PDF package in your Studio Sessions. This is the best way to export out your Studio Sessions, in my opinion, because it gives you that, again, zip file of all of your PDFs. So I prefer this for export, but it's, again, completely up to you. I'll close out all of these sessions. I don't know why. I must have had them open. Perfect. What else? Any other questions around sets? This sets has been in Bluebeam for a long time. I don't know when it was created, so I can't give you a date. But again, it's a .bex file. It's proprietary to Bluebeam. You cannot send out the .bex file to other users that don't have Bluebeam. You can to your internal users. Just be aware, relative path versus non-relative, on how they're going to be able to get access to them. It does not work through sessions, sessions or projects. So just be aware of that as well. It'd be saved like on-prem, on your network drive. I haven't tried it in SharePoint. May work. I don't know. So for those of you that have used SharePoint and maybe you've tried sets, let me know as well. Cool. All right. So that is the use of sets. Any other questions before we pivot back to the topic? Can you please show us how to make bookmarks? Yes, I will. Works fine in SharePoint. Cool. Doug says it works fine in SharePoint for all of you SharePoint users for PDFs. SharePoint is not a bad place for PDFs. It is for your Revit files. So please do not use that for your design files. Okay. Let's go through and show you how to create those bookmarks as well. So I have this PDF set here, this combined PDF. I won't call them sets yet until we're out of sets in Bluebeam so we don't get confused. Okay, I no longer have sets open, no other questions. We'll dig into making bookmarks. So I prefer to use bookmarks versus thumbnails first, and that's just me. So instead of having to go through and click through, and this is one of the three mistakes, the ability to not navigate through your data most effectively and just using the arrows, which isn't a bad thing, but it's not very effective. You can always type in what page you want to go to, by the way. And then say you went to the wrong page, you need to go back to the original page. You can always use this previous button, Alt left, brings you right back to where you were. So that is a quick feature. Now, what I'm going to go through and do is all title blocks should be the same. This is pretty much standard in the industry. And if you're not, I question you. But what you're able to go through and do is you're going to go and create from your bookmarks. And you're not going to do it by page labels because we're going to do the page labels after. This is the workflow I like to do. It's completely up to you. You can do page labels first. I'm going to grab the page region of data. So it's saying, what data do you want to grab to create your bookmarks? And I'm going to select that. So it's saying, grab me a region of data that I'm going to use on every single page in the same exact spot to make my bookmarks and then in the future, my labels. So I'm going to encompass a large area. Why? Because if I go here and I drag, I need to grab all the way to the end of where the number may go to. Otherwise, Bluebeam won't grab it because it's going to make the same box of region of data on every single page and every single spot to grab the information. So I'm going to grab that first. That is the number. Now, for those of you that use third-party applications, things like Procore, and it's using your page labels to create numbers in those solutions, I found out you need to use an underscore. So I'm going to use an underscore to differentiate between the number, then the page. So then I'm not done because I don't want to just have the number. I also want to then have it name them. So the name of that PDF, which the number is kind of like the name, but yeah. So I'm going to hit add. Now I'm going to encompass the name. And again, same thing. I'm not going to stop here where this is at because what if the name extends past it on a different page? I'm going to grab more of that data from a wider selection as well. Not encroaching on that S number here, just enough to go over. Now I have my number and my name. It's showing me the preview example of what that looks like. So I'm going to hit OK. Now, what pages do you want to go through and have this done? Of course, all 7. Do you want to page scale? Yeah, I've never changed this. I don't know. Has anyone used this? It's the page scale. Fit to page, I would assume, is the best option. Chris, I would go through and rename those other ones with the different title block. But again, we're in the AEC industry and everyone should be using the same exact title block. Whenever I was in industry, I would be getting sent a title block that needs to be formatted the same. So if you do for the one-off, for some reason, someone used a different title block. This is why we have standards, folks. This is going to be a big issue when we get into AI and the automation of workflows, and the page sizes are different. I mean, I guess it may help us somewhat, but structure your data appropriately, have standards for projects. We should all be using the same title block. Input your data. Typically, the architectural team leads the title block. Architectural team, please send your title block on time to those other teams. So we're using all of the same title block. there is my safe harbor statement so that we can all be on the same page. Ironically enough, we're all working with pages. Okay, fit to page, I'm gonna hit okay. Now I'm done. So this created my bookmarks as I click through. Easier to navigate these PDFs, right? So I can click through these. It's going to drop me to it. You can add a child view too. So there was another question about like jumping to areas. I've thought about doing this. It just takes a little bit of time. And I don't know if this would work with the Claude integration. Like, can we easily create detail sheet child parent views for bookmarks? That will be fun to test out whenever we get access to that. Which, by the way, I need to go and get granted access to the Max features as well. Some of us were given access or allowed to be add to a list to get access to Max early. So hopefully, not hopefully, I just need to reply to the email. It was also in the community page of Bluebeam, so make sure you go check it out. So if you aren't part of the community, there's a community post. I'll show you actually, because you're all part of the community. So 1 second. It was right here. Try Bluebeam Max. This is the email I got. So if you want to go check it out, this is going to be review set syncing. So keep your tool sets wherever you are. This is a huge one, by the way, folks. I just got off a call with a company that had a hard time deploying tool sets to the company-wide silently. I think this is going to change the game for that. This was mainly created to get access to your tool sets on the mobile platforms, but for deployments, keeping standards of tool sets, this will be huge, especially when you're able to push them out through there. And you'll get access to the offset tool. I thought the tool was called something different. This is just, maybe it's just the feature of offset. Doug, wasn't the tool called something different? Please remind me so I don't have to go look. The magic wand? Is that what it was called? Yeah, thank you. I thought it was magic wand. Are they just giving you the offset feature? Anyways, markup, convert to, oh, this is it. So this is both. This is the magic wand, but it looks like they're not giving, I thought it was one tool that did 3 different things. Are they breaking it out? Confusing me. I thought it was one tool that did all 3. When we asked Peter on MCR Live there, that's what he said. Okay, I'm not going to hold you to it, Peter. I'm sorry, but that's what I thought. Maybe it was miscommunicated. Okay. And then stitching. So you can join that live. I'm not going to click here, but if you guys all join the Bluebeam community, you can find this by Ryan Arnold, who posted it. And you can check it out. Yeah, it's a right-click feature, but I thought the tool was going to be like the magic wand, and then you click it, and then you right-click with these different commands. But okay, close it out because I'm not done yet. Page labels, most important part of this. So we're going to go to thumbnails here. I need to finish the last beta first. I haven't joined any yet because I'm trying not to have too much on MCR that I'm not allowed to have on MCR. I haven't joined anything yet. I have access. I have the ability to get access. Oh, I guess I did just go Canvas TaskLink integration. I haven't joined the MCP yet. We're still understanding the data posture from an AI platform. Again, you're not installing Claude. You are using it through a web browser. Okay, so sorry, squirreling all over the place. So we'll go through and create my page labels. Now, you go to your thumbnails panel. There's the little yellow star button, and we'll go through and create it from our bookmarks. So we already have it, and I'm just going to create them from my bookmarks, and now they're all here. Now, Chris, if someone for some reason couldn't give you the right title block on your pages, you can just right-click on that and rename it. So you can come down to here, and you can rename the page label. So that's one way to rename it if it didn't work. You can also do it by the auto of the selection. Maybe you know what sheets they are, and then you can go back and do this same thing. Your page labels, create your page labels, and just do your selected ones that you're grabbing. Oh, yeah, the current. So let's see if I grab 2. I don't want to misquote here. Well, yeah, so you can do the selected. So maybe you know, like, whichever ones, just select them from your thumbnails and then just do this same one and just grab the new region of data. Because hopefully they followed internally their own title block that matches those pages. Okay. So now these are all labeled the same, and essentially you could just extract these pages using the label to name them. Any other questions about page labels and going through and using the bookmarks? Perfect. So hopefully that answered your questions. We're not adding disciplines here. This isn't the sets part. Oh, I didn't add the child views. I didn't show you guys that. So if I go back to bookmarks, went off on a squirrel again. You can add these child views. I thought about doing this for like creating my detail sheet to make it a little bit easier to navigate. So you can add a child view before, after. So this would be that child. Oh, well, that's not. Why is it not indenting? Add a child. There we go. So now what I could do essentially is just say S2, and we can say detail 4. And then, thank you. This one could be set up with a, I guess you could do current view. So now you have that current view. So if I go here, it's going to bring you to that current view. So that's one way. You could also add an action and a jump to a specific place that you've created. I like that. Was this always here? Did I just never know that that set current view? That makes it a lot easier actually to go through and create, because then you can add another child view here, and then I could just do detail number 5, and then I could do set as current view. Okay, I guess you have to click out. I guess it's creating it as the current view automatically. So I add a child. I think it's doing it without me having to set it. One second. Let me try. It is. So if I go here, yeah, it's automatically setting it to that view. Cool. There you go. But you can create these child views, which could help other folks downstream effect again. How can we equip everybody with easier navigation? Also, if you don't have the hyperlinks, this is a feature you can enable too. You can just go to batch hyperlink. Be aware this batch, a lot of the batch features are part of complete. Caveat, I'm going to add the open files. I'm just going to do this file. I'm going to hit next. You can actually go through and do the same exact thing. And this is where you need to have the same title block, because I'm going to grab a region of data on the PDF. Please have the same title block, folks. And then I'm going to generate these, and I'll add my link options to include the color so that you can all see them versus it just being non-colorized. So it created a bunch of hyperlinks here. I guess I should have done fill, but you can jump over. Chris, this does work if it's all done before Studio. So just make sure that your hyperlinks are created before you're uploading the PDF into Studio, and it works in Studio. The hyperlinks are embedded to the metadata of the PDF to jump to a place. Essentially, it's an action. And for all of us that didn't know, natively in Revit, it will automatically create hyperlinks for you in a combined PDF. If you're extracting your sheet sets outside of Revit as single PDFs, it does not automatically create hyperlinks, kind of like AutoCAD doesn't automatically create the hyperlinks. Maybe it does now. I don't know for those AutoCAD users. But when I was using AutoCAD, it didn't. And Revit does this natively, but if they're combined. And if you're getting them and they're not working, you can easily go through and do this before you upload it into a studio session. It needs to be done prior to uploading into a studio session. And to show you all it does work, I'll save this to my desktop so it does not overwrite that one. Yes, replace. Now what I can go through and do is go back into the sessions here. I probably don't want to do it in this one because there's probably one already opened up. We'll go into our training session that I had at one point with my free demo app here. For those folks wondering what you could do on the mobile app for free, we can always talk about that. Where did I save it? My desktop. There it is. Uploading. There, it's uploaded. Now I can scroll over and the hyperlinks still work. And you can also go through and look at your page labels. Those are all good, and all of my bookmarks in the session. You can see the session little icon here. What other questions do you all have? I can answer questions today, completely fine. We do not need to go to the topic. Again, this is built for all of you, so ask away. I love a Q&A day. I'm still wondering why. I thought it was called the Magic Wand. We didn't really dig into this. So let me just, for those of us that, when I was talking about the Magic Wand, I sent out that list that you can all get from Studio Projects. The offset allows you to easily create precise duplicate markups at defined distances. CAD-like drawing right inside review. That is pretty bold. Remember how we've always said Bluebeam isn't meant to be a design solution? It looks like things are starting to change. The tide is starting to turn. CAD-like features. I love it. Hopefully you all do too. Computer-aided design for all of us that didn't know what the abbreviation for that is. Markup, so you can convert duplicate as, so you can convert and duplicate as. I said that kind of as a singular word. It's not. So convert. For those of us that have been wanting to change a markup that's been placed on a PDF with a different markup, because you made a bunch of quantities maybe and something changed, you don't want to have to change the metadata of that markup in the PDF. This tool will allow you to convert that markup to an already existing one in the tool set. They showed that at Unbound as well. And then they have duplicate as, so you can duplicate as something. So duplicate markups into different types instantly. Reducing extra steps and streamlining the process. Perfect. Change the color of a layer. You could do the convert as, but you can't change the color of an entire layer markup status, if that's what you're referring to. So like this, for instance, these aren't on their own, but I can create them as layered as their own. So if I go over to here, the markups list, go to subject, and then I filter as, I just want to see the subject as engineer. We'll grab these. We'll create these into a layer. And this is bad habits. This is good habits. Bad habits. These weren't subject correctly, and now it was hard for me to go and select specific people's markups. I guess you could do it by user, but yeah. Another bad habit would have been to not have these as a layer already. So now I'm creating a layer instead of having to go through and do it. So the question was, can I change entire layer state colors? I haven't been able to, but if you go to here, you can do color. Will it let me grab the entire system here? And nope, can't change the color. Maybe the convert tool will allow you to do that. Don't know. But I could come up here to line and change this to orange. So change that. The issue is that there's so many markups, you don't get all of the options of what those markups are. Does that make sense? So like it gave me one, which is a line. But if I go to properties, will you give me everything in here? Let's go to color and make it orange. Did it change everything? Nope. What if I hit change colors? Okay. So it did it for some of them. I'm still getting this fill issue. Haha, fill. Is there another fill? Nope. So it gave me the... Okay, hold on. There's a fill here. Why didn't it give me all of the fills? So I guess it... I don't think I'm... There's one. What are these? It's the callouts. Why is the callouts still black? Let me change another color. Everything that's black turned to orange. I think we're good. Those are the text. You probably wouldn't want to do that because then you can't read it. So you can. I just did the select, but it wasn't the entire layer. Does that make sense? So I use the select tool by filtering the markups to go through and accomplish this. Let's see what the chat is saying. Note the magic wand, if you use the right click, you can only change to a generic measurement. However, if you select custom measure tool, then use the keyboard shortcut, you can convert a markup to your custom tool. Thanks, Doug. Sums when drawing are exported, they retain their layers. Yeah, yep. I can isolate them. Yep. So the comment is that you can isolate markups. So basically when you export out your PDF from AutoCAD, this is an AutoCAD. I've never done it from Revit from like a layers perspective because there is no layers in Revit, just so you all are aware. I'm wondering if it does it by family and category. I don't know. But in Revit, there's a way to print out your PDFs, AutoCAD, that has, you print it to DWG. It's a specific way of exporting it. And then I don't think I have AutoCAD installed. So maybe I need it. Oh, I do. Okay. Let me open it. There's a specific way to export it out. And you'll all have to remind me. Don't tell me yet. Let me figure it out again. There's a specific way you export out your PDFs to make sure the layers go with it. Hold on. Refrain from telling me, but type it in the chat and don't hit the arrow button yet. We'll open up something random. It's file print. And the way you do it, hold on. It's been a minute. Wait. Don't worry. Yes, it's here. Yes, it's the PC3. It's this one. DWG to PDF. I believe, is that it, everybody that uses AutoCAD? It will maintain the layers. I believe this is it. No one's saying anything. It's fine. I believe it is. I don't think this detail sheet is set up. Yes, perfect. Thanks, Danny. So in order to print the layers out, file print, and you go through and use the DWG to PDF.pc3. Okay. Stop. I'm not going to stop sharing because we're still going. Okay. So we changed the colors. You can print out layers. Again, that's one of the biggest mistakes. Folks don't pre-assign colors and subject matters. Also layers, tying it back into the theme of what today's conversation was about. Please assign your layers when you're in and using your tool sets. It's very easy now. You can select and then you can create an entire layer versus one-off for this one. Easy. Now guess what? They all have a layer assigned to them. So when they go through and make a markup, it is pre-assigned with a layer. Easy. When did they change the shift button? Because I felt like in the past I wasn't able to shift, but now I am. So if you want more information on managing what shows here and is available, you can go over to here and do manage tool chest columns. This is new. And you can say oh, that's probably why. This is amazing. I didn't know the layer was part of it. So now you can have the layer here, and I guess you just double click. That's probably why and when it changed. So yes. There was Danny, thank you. Plus need to change PDF SHX so it does not print the SHX file because they go into the markups. Yes, we shall be using TrueType fonts now. Those folks that are still using SHX, that is a long time ago. It's new. All right, Doug. I thought I was a little confused myself. I'm assuming it's because of this that you can do the shift at all, because it was very painful before. I guess it wasn't. It was painful. I'll be honest here. I would make one, right click, layer, and then what I would do is I'd just copy it, Control C, right click again. It was time consuming, especially if you have a bunch of markups. But now you just do the shift button, and now you can see what layers they are on as well. And maybe you don't want to see the label because this specific tool set doesn't use labels because those are attached specifically to markups. There's a lot of good stuff today. What else, folks? What other burning questions do you have? This is all for you. As always, in any MCR, whatever burning questions you have, it's your time to get them answered for free. No charge to join MCR. You just join the fold and have a lot of fun and get free swag when we see you all in person. What else? And for those of you watching on YouTube, I know some of you can't join live, and I appreciate every single one of you rewatching as well. But if at one point you can join live, please do. It's a lot of fun over here. Did I miss anything? No. Hey, Doug, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want to join and show your sometime in December? Do you want to join and show what you did at Unbound? Putting you on the spot. How can I get the line toggle to display at the bottom? Question. The line button, the line command, like to create a line, Chris? December, you pick a date, except maybe the 23rd. 1, 2, 3. The 2nd, the 9th, or the 16th. You decide. Line weights. Oh, so like this button, disable line weights. Yes. So this is by default in everybody's single version of review. So if you go to tools and then you go to toolbars, this is the navigation bar, F4. So some people accidentally hit F4 on their keypad. Oops, let me get out of here. And it goes away. So F4 again. And if you don't see it, you can always add it to anything you need to. For those of us that didn't know, you can customize your toolbar. So if I click on the toolbar area, I go to customize. These are all of your toolbars, commands to assign to a toolbar. The navigation bar is right here, and it may be disabled. So just select the navigation bar, and then make sure disable line weights is checked. F4 by default, so you just go to tools, toolbars. If you remapped it, F8 is a status bar. So F8, oops, why is it? I guess you have to hit exit. So this is the status bar below. And then F4 is the other one. Yeah, disable line weights, change the color of your PDF. Some people do it with a blue, so you can go to preferences. Dark mode, perfect. No, hold on. Don't tell me yet, I'll find it. Wait. Interface, it's gotta be here, no. Don't worry, I'm almost there. Let me just click through everything. Where's the dark mode color? Window. Background color. No, that's a presentation. There's no way that's it. Is that it? I know it's somewhere in here. In advanced. And you know what I could do, everybody? Guess what? Search. But it's in advanced. I see it's right here. Could do it this way. Anyone having nostalgia? Okay. This is new. You can change it back. Just a selection. It's up to you on how you want to roll with that. So you could search, and I probably should have, but there's a search command. Dark mode is the color command for that. And then, as always, if you're looking for tools in command, you can use the find tools plus commands, and then we'll have those. But yeah, Doug, you probably don't want to do it next week, the 2nd, because we won't be able to blast it out as much. So I would probably honestly pick between the 19th and the 16th, whichever day works for you. If you want to jump on and show your Unbound presentation for all of you folks that weren't able to join us live at Unbound, we'll have Doug as a special guest. Alrighty. I think we're good. I think we answered everything. See, have Liz for a whole month for all 4 of hers. If Liz magically shows up again, we would love to have her on for all 4. All right. I'll reach out to Liz and see if she would be more than happy to join live. If you had to pick one of her 4 classes, which one would it be? Just in case she doesn't want to do all 4. I want to give her some options, giving people options. Dynamic stamps. Okay. For those that are wondering if we all vote dynamic stamps, there is the ability to create custom stamps. In these custom stamps, you have, and this will be a lot easier too with Claude, by the way. I have a bunch of pre-curated custom stamps that I created as well. So there's JavaScript behind all of these custom stamps in the JavaScript window explaining how you can do the codecs to go through and create your own custom stamps. So if I go to the forms here, you have all of your data here, but really what the bread and butter is going over to your forms panel, going to JavaScript. All of these point to a code, and that code is right here. And you can go through and create all of these custom code syntaxes. The issue is that it has to be what's available because they don't publish this, and Claude will definitely help us out with this. And it is this calculation window. This calculation window has its own very set of codes, and it's right here. So, and you're not supposed to modify these, but hopefully Claude will be able to help us write some additional ones as well. So that's that one. She did dynamic stamps, JavaScript, and I forget what else. Maybe I'll get a list and then ask all of you. Yeah, I think they were all JavaScript. Thanks. Mitch Young as well. Let me write that down in the notes. So I'll see if I can get Mitch Young as well. Well, thank you all. Sorry, we're at the time. Thank you all for joining us today. I appreciate every single one of you that has joined us for however long. Maybe you're new. Maybe you're joining us for the first time, which is the same thing as new. Maybe you've been here since the beginning. I appreciate every single one of you. This show, this community would not be what it is today without all of you joining in live, asking questions, listening into my topics. So again, as always, I appreciate every single one of you, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a wonderful holiday if you are in the United States, and enjoy time away with your loved ones. For those of you outside, I know your day already happened, Doug, for Turkey Day, but again, appreciate you. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you all after Turkey Day, hopefully well rested and ready to finish the year out strong.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.